Hello and welcome to Next Steps for Seniors Conversations on Aging. I am your host, Wendy Jones, and so blessed to be here today with another podcast host and teacher. He is also an author. He is a certified aging in place specialist and owner of Senior Remodeling Experts, Chris Moore. Chris, I think you need a few more things for me to talk about before we get
Yeah,
started.
I've just got way too much free time on my hands,
Yeah. Yep, you sit on the couch and eat bonbons. I already know it. So our topic today is mindset is everything. And going back, doing what we do every day, next steps for seniors here, working with families, working with our aging population. I have truly learned over the course of time that age is irrelevant. It's really mindset. And I've talked to 50-year-olds that act like 90-year-olds, and I've talked to 90-year-olds that have passed me on the marathon on a marathon run. So you just don't know. But I'll tell you, I love our topic today, Chris. And your podcast is called Aging in Place is a Team Sport. So you and I think very similar in the way we look at this aging process. And that's why we're having this program today for you. So, listeners, because mindset is everything. People, the difference in how people age begins with mindset. I'm a true believer, and I know you are too, Chris.
Yeah,
So, inspire us a little bit because you've got some stories of people that have really affected your life that you've seen as far as amazing things that they've done at an older age.
right. Well, let me start with when I came out with my book, my first thought for a title was old is not a four-letter word. And then I found out there were already half a dozen books with that title in the marketplace. So I decided to do something else. But the more that we recognize and start paying attention, we see often very subtly how age has been defined and has been shaped in the minds of many people and in our cultural narrative in such a way that it's viewed as a very negative thing. People don't want to think about getting older. They don't want to get older. They don't, want any part of it. And there's this whole what's called anti-aging movement, which is very hilarious, really, because it's not anti-aging at all. It's anti the appearance of aging. We're going to spend millions of dollars to make ourselves look younger and hardly pay attention at all to how we believe we are functioning at the age that we are. So I will now answer your question. So, um, one of the most inspiring people that I have personally met, and I have an interview with him at the back of my book. He's a man by the name of Dale Sanders. He goes by the trail name of Graybeard, and he is currently on a quest to reacquire the Guinness Book of World Records for the oldest person to have through hiked the Appalachian Trail. And he had that record when he was 82. And
Wow, you are
young
serious.
this young whippersnapper named Nimble Will Nomad came along and took it away from him at 84. And now he is more than halfway done with getting it back. And he'll be 91 when he finishes. And I had the opportunity to meet him on McAfee Knob, which is very close to where I live. It's the most photographed spot on the AT, and met him there one morning and was able to get an interview with him and hike with him for about 4.5 miles. And at one point he said, you can go in front. And then a few minutes later, he said, we're going downhill. You can go a little faster.
I love it. I
Okay.
absolutely love it. This is inspiring
Yeah.
because, yes, this man said, I'm going to do this. And guess what? He is doing it.
Yes. Yes. And then I've got some customers. I was interviewed on the local TV station about my book, Age Out Loud, and the reporter asked me, "Do you know anybody that I could talk to that might be kind of a poster child for aging out loud?" And so I thought of this couple. I had put a wheelchair ramp in for them a few years ago. And the man told me at the time, he said, the only reason I need this ramp is because my kids gave me this really nifty four-wheel wagon, and I can, bring the groceries into the house, with my wagon. And at the time, he was 96 and he was still playing tennis and swimming every day. And he's now 100 years old. His wife is 97, and they interviewed both of them for the TV station.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife said, when all of our children retired, it occurred to me that for the first time that maybe we might be getting old.
I love this. This is
You know,
exactly what we're here for. Right. Because when you hear the word old,
right,
the first thing you think is that's not me. Absolutely not me, right?
right. Yeah. Well, and
So,
one of the things I do when I'm speaking to groups is I will take a flip chart and I'll, write the word old at the top, and I'll say, tell me what comes to mind. And it's very interesting in different crowds and different groups what words end up on that paper, because one perspective is the word old brings up feelings of weak, tired, sick, unable to, fill in the blank,
lonely,
um,
isolated,
lonely, isolated,
anxious. Yes.
all of that. The other side of the ledger, if you will, would be wise, would be experienced, would be knowledgeable, would be a source of great wisdom and understanding.
Exactly.
And we get to choose which one of those two perspectives we're going to hold on to. There's an
Exactly.
there's an old Native American illustration that says inside of every person there are two wolves. There's one that is evil and there's one that is good. And the young man says to the elder, well, which one will prevail? And he says, whichever one you choose to feed.
That's exactly
So
right.
it's the same way with mindset. It's which of those perspectives we choose to feed. When my wife, Barbara, died of lung cancer in July of 22, she was 55 years old, and I was devastated. And in the weeks and months that followed, and I was trying to find some solid ground under my feet. And one day I was walking by the river and I had a memory. And the memory was this, that when we first got married in 1989, 4 months later, she went in the hospital with encephalitis. She was 22. She lost her
That's young.
vision. She lost her vision. She had seizures. She lost her speech. She didn't know who I was. She told me later, I knew I liked you, but I couldn't figure out who this man was that kept coming to see me in my hospital room.
Right.
And I didn't know anything about encephalitis at the time, but since then I learned that it is quite often fatal. And for those who do recover, they typically lose all their short-term memory. And so what came to me that day on the river was that if someone had told me at that time, she's not going to die at 22, she's going to live for 33 more years.
Right. That would have been incredible to know ahead of time.
I would have been ecstatic.
Uh-huh.
And so I had a choice. I got to choose whether I'm going to be ecstatic for the 33 years we had together, or I'm going to be broken and melt into a puddle on the floor and stay there because she died at 55.
Exactly. It has everything to do with how you're looking at that situation. And
Right.
Henry Ford said, there's a quote, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And this is exactly why you and I are here today to
Right.
have this conversation, because at the end of the day, if you think you can't get in your car, why in the world do you think you'll be able to do it?
Right.
Because you've already set yourself up for not being able to do it. And there's a scripture verse in the Bible, just and I don't know the exact verse, but it's to the intent of your thoughts become your words and your words become your actions. So at the end of the day, how a man thinks is how he is. So I just want to encourage our listeners right now. This is an opportunity to really look at your situation and say, what am I struggling with and how am I thinking about it? Because 100%, according to Chris, myself, and many other people have been through this before, Chris had a choice. He had a choice when his wife passed away, how he was going to look at that situation. But you were blessed. You were thankful for the amazing number of years you did have with your wife. Instead, you turned, right, lemons into lemonade. And we all have that opportunity to do that as we age and embrace this time and not be fearful of it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear some more stories and inspiration. Stay tuned. You're listening to Next Steps for Seniors, Conversations on Aging.